Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about a few things that I was able to test in a live stream over on Twitch, which is linked near the top of the description. I actually asked people in the chat, hey, what are some of the things you guys want to know about? And we were able to test them directly. So this is going to be part of a series where I test specific things that maybe necessarily won't make an entire video about one thing, but I can make a video talking about various things I tested so you have a better idea, almost kind of like a Mythbusters type of thing, but it's not necessarily Mythbusters. Today's video, we're talking about the Duster stock, which is supposed to help slide speed. Specialist, does it actually help reload speed when it comes to Cold War weapons? Because that's obviously part of it. And then we're also going to be testing which barrels are better when it comes to the burst tactical rifles. That's the M16 and the AUG, because I've already done a video on the DMR, and then I've also done one on the Type 63 in a video talking about which barrels do what. I showed this all on stream. If you'd like to participate, definitely make sure you are following the channel, so when I do go live, we're going to be hosting some private matches, and we're also going to be setting up stuff for you to be able to get involved if you're looking to help out with some private match testing where I need at least 23 other people in addition to myself. So if you enjoyed the video, learned something new, please do me a favor, hit that like button. If you're brand new looking to find your way back, make sure you are subscribed with notifications on. We just hit 500,000 subscribers on the channel, which I am very appreciative of. I never expected to hit that number when we first started the channel, so thank you guys that have been following the channel for a while, or if you're brand new, I do appreciate that support. So the first thing we took a look at that we're going to talk about today is the reload. I went in and we did this in Plunder. We had to do the Easter egg so we can get the specialist bonus. And the first thing I had was a Mac 10 with the regular 53 round drum mag. I also had the FFAR with the speed reload mag, and then we were able to check those out side by side, and we'll go ahead and take a look at what that testing looks like, and then I'm gonna go over some of the results with you for these various things that we were able to test. So this is the FAMAS with the regular reload speed of that one mag that we were just talking about. What I've done here is I've already set it up so we can see the various frames. So what I gotta do is bring this thing over so we can see how long it takes. And what we're looking at here is it's a one frame between right here and the crosshairs going to disappear. So right there, you can see it jumps to 17 and the crosshairs in the middle of the screen disappear. This is the start of the reload animation. You can see it's 17 milliseconds. As we go across, what we're looking at is this first one is going to be reload add time. And what the reload add time is, this is normal the reload that you pay attention in Call of Duty, because that's when the bullets are actually in your magazine. And sometimes people would YY, triangle, triangle, or cancel their reload. At that point, it would cut the rest of the animation away. Obviously, Cold War weapons are currently bugged. So right here, you can see it's 50, 49, 50. That's 1.235 seconds. So that's the reload with the fastest mags and the largest mags on the FAMAS. Then what happens is we go over here and we keep going. And if you want to pay attention to reload when you can just fire without any kind of animation, you're going to see the crosshairs re-emerge as we go through here. So we go through, and then as soon as I get to this frame, the crosshairs re-emerge. 1.802 seconds, and then you can see the difference there. 1.2 to 1.8. So there's like a 600 milliseconds unnecessary as part of that reload animation. That's not necessary that you can cancel as soon as the reload add time has happened. So I did this for the FAMAS. So we did it again for the FAMAS over here. You can see I've already fired one bullet. Now this is with the specialist bonus. And we're going to see as soon as I go a frame, you can see the crosshairs disappeared. We go all the way through the reload animation. And this time around at 1.2, my reload add time doesn't take effect. It doesn't take effect at all. It still keeps going. And then we have the reload time 1.818 for the regular hipfire. See, the hipfire comes back right there. Then as we go through, we don't get the reload add time until 2 seconds later. I did this for both of those weapons that I just said. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the individual results. Like I said, this was all live on stream, so you can see the overall tedious process of how long this actually takes to do when we're doing that process. So let's go ahead and go to that. So here ends up being the comparison here. This is the regular reload of the FAMAS. You can see it's 1.235. That's what we showed in just the testing right now. The reload where the hipfire comes back is 1.802. With the Mac, we saw that at one point. We would have seen it with 1.468. And then the full where the hipfire comes back, 1.885 with the individual mags that we're looking at. When we put on specialist, you can see that the second one appears to be unaffected. The reload cross ends up being the same, but you can't actually use the weapon properly until you get the actual ammo added. The reload add ends up being 2.069 and 2.152, which in this particular case, if you're running specialists on Cold War weapons, I'd highly avoid it because of the reload issue. Still works normal for regular Modern Warfare weapons because they were designed with sleight of hand built in, but this one just jacks up the reload. Kind of the same thing with stopping power. We end up with a similar issue when you're doing a full reload, but it was 68% slower for the FFAR, and the MAC, it was 47% slower. And I think this one, the reason why it's that much slower is because this one already has that built-in sleight of hand to that fast mag, whereas this one probably would have been closer to 1.4, and then it would have been around a 50% worsening, like it slows down your reload. So that was terrible. The other results, we did similar testing for the Duster stock with the MAC 10. This is distance in meters. This is also distance in meters. This is where I started my slide. This is where the slide ended. We slid a total of 5 meters. So that's approximately how far you slide. And this is the milliseconds. The Duster stock did it at 6.12 meters per second compared to the base of 5.995. The difference there, 2% faster. And that ended up being the difference. So we also did the testing for the M16 versus the AUG. We tested each of the individual barrels with the agency suppressor because ideally with the weapons you want to maximize the bullet velocity, and since the change to the agency suppressor, or that last suppressor that is essentially the monolithic, we're getting the maximum bullet velocity out of that attachment. Everything else isn't necessarily going to help. And sometimes it'll actually worsen it if we're talking about another suppressor which is hurting range, which you don't really want with the Cold War weapons. So right here, what we did is we test the distance, how far it traveled, and that puts out a bullet velocity. With the agency suppressor, 713 meters. The AUG is atrocious at 320. You can literally see the bullets dive into the ground at this range. M16, when you put on the agency plus the titanium, it ended up being 1,000 meters per second. We saw the AUG boost up as well. And that was like 100% boost. It basically over doubled it. When I put on the match grade, we didn't really see much of a difference. We're seeing 2% and 7% difference, negligible. In the task force, we saw no change with the M16, and the AUG, we saw 11%. Keeping in mind that these are probably all zero. There's just a frame rounding going on because of where the weapon frame bullet captured and where it hits. But you can see that the titanium, we saw a drastic increase, even though in game, when we look at all this, it says effective damage range, and normally range and velocity are tied together. So anytime you get an increase in one, it should be increasing the other. And in this particular case, it does the opposite of what it says it does. In the match grade, where it's supposed to help with the range, it's not doing what it's supposed to. Task force, it's not viable, in my opinion. These barrels are just not viable. Strike team, not really all that good. And then we also have these ones. Fire rate could be good if you're leveling it, but the titanium is the way to go for all of the tactical rifles in Cold War. So all 4 of these all should be using the titanium barrel. And that's just kind of how it should go. And that was proven. Like I said, the Duster stock will help, but the extra 2% will almost be unnoticeable. We had to go frame by frame to measure that difference. So let me know down in the comment section, what are the things you'd like to see me test that I probably wouldn't do a full video on? But there's things like this where maybe I could test to kind of find out how that works. I do it live on stream. And if I needed people to jump in to help, obviously you guys would be able to participate in that if that's something you guys are interested in. So let me know down in the comment section what you guys are interested in, what not. If you did enjoy the video, learn something new, please do me a favor, hit that like button. If you're brand new, want to find your way back, make sure you are subscribed with notifications on. Appreciate the support. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.